Hey everybody, Plushie here. So with the 3000 day release campaign, FGO JP got yet another rerun banner for us, and this time they are rerunning once again our favorite Avalon the Fae, Castoria. And today I just wanted to talk about whether she is still worth rolling in this day and age, whether she's still a must roll like when she first came out, or has she kind of fallen off throughout the years. So without further ado, let's get into today's hot take video of Castoria. So Castoria's first skill is an AoE 30 MP battery with an AoE 20% attack up for 3 turns, all on a 6 turn cooldown. So immediately this is a really good farming skill. AoE 30 MP battery, obviously really good for multi-core. Now, she herself does not have a damaging MP, so compared to Koyanskaya of Dark and Tezcatlipoca, this could not be as good because I don't know how good her MP is. I guess we'll take a look at it later on. Her MP can't be really that good, I imagine, with this kind of skill. So overall, really good support skill. We're starting off pretty strong here. Her second skill is a targetable 20 MP battery, as well as an AoE 30% MP gain up that only is on a 5 turn cooldown. So this is also pretty good combined with her first skill. This can give one target 50 MP charge and also boost the entire team's MP gain, which, I mean, to be fair, usually is going to only affect one looper. If you imagine to run a single core team, and even in multi-core, I feel like most of the times you're not gonna care too much about this refund boost unless you double up your Castoria. But this skill, I think it could have definitely been a 30 MP charge, maybe, but with the 5 turn cooldown, it's kind of forgivable. Yeah, it's still a really solid skill, especially when you consider it pairing it with the first skill. And then finally, Castoria's third skill is a oh, that's that's pretty good. It's a 3 turn 50% art sub and a 1 turn invul, as well as 3 turns of 50% extra damage against threat to humanity enemies. That's pretty juicy on a 6 turn cooldown. So this is essentially almost, in my opinion, just a better hero creation. Obviously, this doesn't boost the critical damage, but in place it has an invul effect, which is a really supreme survival skill, and also it does give her 50% extra damage to threat to humanity, because these are really common amongst bosses, especially with recent story releases. So this is a really cool skill, especially combined with her second skill. The MP gain up by 30% is pretty huge, and also the first skill's AoE 30 MP charge. She might be a pretty good support for AoE arts looping, who knows. As for passives, Castoria has Magic Resistance A, which is a 20% passive debuff resist, which is extremely good for a support because you absolutely do not want your skills or your MP to be sealed at a crucial time, and also you don't want them to take too much chip damage from dot damage and whatnot. So unless you do have a very accessible debuff cleanse, this is a very useful effect, and I can't imagine her having that, right, because how spammable her MP is. And she also has Territory Creation EX, which is a passive 12% art sub, once again helping her spam her MP very easily in combination with her 30% MP gain up and her spread 30 MP charge. And she also has a passive 10% arts crit up, which is pretty fun, because if you do want to toy with the idea of a solo Castoria DPS, this does help a little bit. Now, once again, it really lies on how good her MP is, because having a non-damaging MP usually is not that good for a solo servant, so we'll see whether that works well. And finally, after she clears Lost Belt 6, she gets a additional passive, which is a 20% crit chance resist, which definitely helps, especially for a support. Sometimes you really want some form of passive protection from stray crit hits. It's especially useful against bosses that really are prone to critting hard, and it's just a nice passive to have. And finally, Castoria's MP is, of course, an Arts MP that is a support non-damaging MP. It increases the party's attack for 3 turns that scales with MP level from 30% all the way up to 50%. Wow, that's a 3 turn effect that is relatively spammable, and it can go up to 50%. I mean, I guess most people would only get her to MP1, but 30% is still really good. And it also cleanses the party's debuffs. That is also extremely powerful, especially against certain bosses with very nasty gimmicks that like to spam a bunch of debuffs. I can't imagine this being pretty good against very tough bosses like Cernunos. And finally, her overcharge effect is What? Ignore info pierce and skills with overage? Is that for the entire party? What the what is this? You sure? You sure you put that right? There might be a mistranslation here or something. I might have to fact check this later because this is kind of ridiculous, right? I can't imagine this being.
You better roll for Castoria. This is your last chance. You've had many chances before. If you don't roll for Castoria, every servant you've ever loved will die. To Invul Pierce. But if you believe in our one true savior of Britain, the only god of FGO, you might find salvation. It's not too late.